Okay, so before I get into this video, a video which is very controversial, I'd like to point out the difference between some of the types of nerds that are out there. You have the kind of evil nerd. I believe I put it on the top left of the screen, right? Evil nerds. You have lukewarm nerds. See, nerds are never good because if they were righteous or good, that would transcend being a nerd and they would first and foremost be something else. Okay, like a righteous martial artist, what have you. Now, if they were righteous, they wouldn't necessarily stop wearing glasses or something. There's nothing wrong with wearing glasses, right? They wouldn't necessarily stop doing some of the things that they do, right? They need to have nerd-like characteristics to excel in studying, and that's the right thing to do, what have you. Then they would keep those characteristics to some degree, but they would be something else first. Okay. Now, naturally, there's nothing nerdy about me naturally. I do a lot of studying, but I study as a very righteous and intense warrior, not a nerd. So a nerd can never be ideal. An arrogant European person, a rich European person can never be ideal. Why? Because ideal is something reserved for some group of black Africans that are the pinnacle of martial arts and human achievement, right? Martial is marital scrambled, and I, Christ, am the bridegroom. So my patriarchal line is black African. Not everyone from my patriarchal line is doing the right thing. I'm the only one doing the right thing on the planet right now. My father's blameless. My mother's blameless. Okay. So there's that. So you can never be white or Jewish or LGBT and be ideal. And people need to come to terms with that. You can't be a human being at this point and naturally be born with wings that allow you to fly around better than a falcon or something. You have to accept those limitations. That's the situation. To not accept that that's the truth means you're not living in reality. White, Jew, and LGBT people built their selves, their movements, their patriarchal lines with ill-gotten gains. Okay? I'm going to illustrate this real quickly and we'll get into the video. Say you're an English person. Okay? You say, yes, I have a Bentley. Yes, this family is above all others. Okay? They may as well all be saying that when they try to pretend they're ideal, because it's very arrogant. It's generations of privilege and fragility and guilt and denial. They can't then turn around after sabotaging the other races for generations and say, I guess that means I'm ideal now. Okay, it can't be done, which means they can never, ever be ideal, ever. Ideal means the one, the A, the alpha, the one. They'll never be the true alpha of the human race because they don't deserve that. You see what I'm saying? That's where we are. That's where we always will be. After I'm gone, there'll never be a valid true alpha. But as it stands right now, as it stands in American history, what have you, they could never have been that. They could never be that. It's like a turtle. Could never be faster than a cheetah. Naturally and fair and square. Couldn't happen. So it is with the sub-races and the races. Not all black people are from my patriarchal line. Not all people from my patriarchal line scramble to do what's right. And I've done it better than everyone else. You have to understand that before we get into this video, because more importantly than whether or not Asians with good grades have an easier time getting into Ivy League schools is who's ideal. And what are they trying to do when they make the argument that they're being treated unfairly? From a legal standpoint, they probably are being treated unfairly. But from a deeper standpoint, how big is the issue? How unfairly, if any? These are the questions I'll answer in this video masterfully, in a way that other people at this point are completely scared. Are too scared to do. They're completely scared, and they're too scared to answer this way at this point. Publicly, hoping that people hear it, what have you. And when we look at Proverbs 28:1, the righteous are as bold as a lion. Are they too scared to tell the truth? No. John 3, they come into the light so their deeds may be seen, and that people appreciate and understand those deeds. So whatever the righteous man thinks is what I think. Don't let wordplay confuse you when they try to say, well, that word technically means this. Don't let technicalities confuse you. When I go on and on about how angry I am at nerds, understand that I judge people according to their deeds. If you're a nicer nerd, like that guy from Simpson who talks like, yeah, okay, guys, okay, I don't think that you're as guilty as an evil nerd, but I still accuse you fair and square of being a fucking coward, of your forefathers failing to produce a righteous person who will stand for what's right, and being part of a group that has you in submission, that is trying to pretend that evil, arrogant, European and Jewish racist nerds are magically superior to the Son of God, who is the pinnacle of righteousness, justice, and focused moral intensity and universal pinpoint and moral precision among people. Trying to pretend that Humperdinck, that Lex Luthor is magically superior to the top martial arts ever possible. And that is some bitch shit. Have a bunch of nerd-ass pussies like, I can't let this video get out because they're fucking cowards with despicable genes. Remember that they're changing my voice. Point number one, I am not a racial supremacist. I do not believe anyone should reproduce in the future. I have no racial agenda whatsoever in terms of people after my flesh dies. Okay? The things I talk about touch on racial issues. But in terms of ethnocentrism, tribalism, racial supremacy, I have no racial supremacy agenda. I'm even biracial. Point number two, I do not respect anyone who reproduces. They're chasing ill-gotten gains. Proverbs 1:19. Such are the paths of those who go after ill-gotten gain. It takes away the life of those who get them. So why are you raising children to make the mistake that you people made, which is going after ill-gotten gain? Whether you're the most stigmatized race, black people, the most numerous race, Asian people, depending on how you define them, the people are perceived as the most powerful, whites, Jews, LGBT, regardless of what group you're from. Whether you have few numbers or many numbers. Why are you pursuing ill-gotten gains as an individual? Why are you coming into a racial supremacy movement to try to, quote unquote, make the best of things? Why don't you just do the noble thing and stop having kids? Point number three, similar to point number two, I do not respect Ivy League schools. They were founded by people who were like Freemasons, basically Luciferians, eugenicists like David Starr Jordan, the founding president of Stanford. Okay, they were created by white supremacy, for white supremacy, to reinforce the pernicious and disgusting and appalling system that we have here in America, and every school system on the planet, from what I gather, from what I've read, is also despicable. They refuse to restructure the school system in a way that's fair. They refuse to stop pretending that because someone went to Stanford or Harvard that they're magically smarter than someone else. Okay? They're not only limited to book smarts, but book smarts in a specific system where you're taught a certain way. Okay? There's different ways that the book could be made. There's different teaching styles that you could get from the book. Okay? You could have more pictures. You could have smaller books. You could teach, over a longer period of time. You could give less homework or more homework, and on and on and on. Okay, so in this particular way that the school system is structured, in all of its variations, which are basically in a tight grouping, okay, with a spectrum, consider. Some people who are like the people who designed the system happen to get better grades. Okay, for them to pretend that they're better than someone else because a bunch of racist whites and Jews and LGBT people came together and designed a school system that favors them. The same people hiding from a debate on who's smarter than who with their tails tucked, shivering under a blanket, so to speak, whimpering, sniveling, scared, cowardly. It's disgusting to me. The top martial artist ever possible, which is me, is the smartest person that ever lived. You have no viable counterargument. But every day you stick up your noses at me in a state of extreme cowardice, guilt, and stupidity. What can you say? You don't take the son of two doctors, one a brain surgeon and a humanitarian, seriously? You don't take the top martial artist seriously when it comes to a debate? That's retarded. What serious academic could take you seriously after that? After your cowardly actions as groups and individuals, who could take you seriously? You want to act like you're better than me. You want to use technology and say things to me that you would never dream of saying face to face because I am a superior life form. Not unless you crippled me first, fueled me, had a gun pointed to me already, and things like that. Because as the sun is greater than a little fire on a grass, so is my intelligence greater than yours. So is my soul greater than yours. So fuck every Ivy League school on the planet. Fuck them. My next point. When the Asian gentleman, right, I do think it's I'm going to make this point here. I do think it's sad that this person worked very hard and wanted to get into a school system, and I do think there's funny business going on. I do think they're discriminating against Asians unfairly. But that's also looking at with blinders and according to the game, okay? I don't think affirmative action helps people of color, okay? I don't think that it's a good idea. I think you need to restructure the school system, get your heads out of your asses, and stop pretending that nerds are smarter than everyone else when nerds put the definitions in the dictionaries that say a nerd is worthless and foolish and contemptible. How the hell are you so smart and you're foolish and contemptible according to everyone like you everywhere you look? The movie Revenge of the Nerds, are they brilliant? No, they're dumb fucking nerds. They missed the point of life. They drop their glass like, where are my glasses? Where's my brain? In fact, they're dumber than shit. What the fuck don't you get? It's sad that you people don't understand that. And you're going to design a system where you're trying to make it so they get money and women? You throw the righteous hero under the bus? The good guys finish last because they're not nerd motherfucking bitches. And everyone needs to understand that. Look at the villains in your own popular culture in the comic books. Dr. Doom, a fucking nerd. Lex Luthor, fucking nerd. Magneto, a bitch-ass fucking nerd. Riddler, a nerd. Joker, bitch-ass fucking geek. Penguin, a fat fucking ugly nerd of a son of a bitch-ass fucking geek of dweeb fucking dork of a nerd. What the fuck don't you get? Bitch-ass motherfuckers. And they're going to play this Freemasonic game. Hey, look, if we do this, guys, they're going to come on their knees like, what can we do? What can we do? You're right. We can't compete in the Ivy League school system. It's a sick, geek, fucking dwibbling, fucking villain tactic. It's fucking stupid. Hey, guys, I'm a bitch, so could you please stop yelling type of bitch shit. Fucking punks. You think it was some geek-ass bitch that caused mankind to come from their primitive state and become civilized? No, because a geek is a bitch. They're not a serious, masculine, intense martial artist who says stop being primitive bitches and fucking go on the path forward. As humanity's been regressing, it's because of a bunch of geek-ass sons of bitches who are in charge, quote unquote. And the word charge is charge, right? Charge, like a man. Not claim to be in charge like a bitch-ass geek in a suit. Some humperdink-ass bitch. Some frat fucking pussy. What the fuck don't you get? Where a jock is a bitch is where he's like a geek. You don't understand that? As the gays would say, where the gay parade is bitch, is where they're like a geek. If you're not smart enough to not be a geek-ass bitch, you are not fucking smart. What's your counter-argument? Okay, now that we said that, and we set the thing straight, because there's a deeper issue here, I'm sure you figured out what it is. It's good versus evil. It's focus, moral intensity, versus geek-ass bitches trying to cheat the righteous. Okay. Now, when I look at that Asian family, hey, they seem nice, they seem friendly, okay, nice isn't the same as righteous, you get it. They're kind of taking a cult stand on the situation, looks shady, okay. My problem isn't that the person is trying to help his son get ahead or this, and this. Okay, I don't like that people are trying to reproduce and trying to find their life in this world and play the game. Okay, that's one of my problems with it. The other problem is that when he said, hey, guys, I'm going to, say this which is going to make black people and Hispanic lives harder, at least in popular culture, in their minds. He didn't also add, well, they should do this instead. They should build colleges for them. There should be wealth taxes. He didn't say nothing like that. He's looking at it strictly like a dog-eat-dog capitalist would look at it. He wants to devour blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans and other Asians and who don't do so well, maybe Southeast Asians and Islanders or whatever. Semites, whoever it affects. He wants to devour them and say, ha, in this system that's for geeks and by geeks, you're going to continue to be oppressed. Thanks for coming out. But I got a fancy degree like my kid. It's fucking selfish. You see what I'm saying? However, I don't think this guy's the mastermind of this whole thing. There's some dweeb-ass, racist, whites, Jews, LGBT, some token minorities with some fancy fucking Freemasonic hat or something, sucking a kid's fucking dick, thinking I have an idea with his mouth full like a bitch. That's who came up with it. But it's stupid to roll with it. And it's stupid that society sits there like bitches, like we are just going to play the game in response. That's fucking stupid. Now compare my response to this video to motherfuckers who think they're smarter than I am when they have no viable counterargument for righteousness being greater than wealth and responsibility. Ability to respond like a man, not using privilege, and respond with a lot of fame like a bitch to no avail as a controlled opposition sucker-ass, pushover, namby-pamby fucking punk-ass bitch. So again, the point of this video was not to offend anyone per se, but it was to strike down the evil in people. If you've attached yourself to evil to the point where you'll be destroyed in judgment, then you should be destroyed. You see, there was an evil source, an evil spirit, an evil set of principles, an evil way of thinking, an evil system, an evil core that was using and is using this situation and different situations to get at everybody to varying degrees, especially me, because I've committed to righteousness. Now, because I happen to be black, and black people happen to be the people that produce the top martial arts line, the ideal people, right? The ideal group of sub-people, subgroup of people. Okay? Whites, racist Jews, racist people, and LGBT people don't like straight people, kind of grouped together, made an unholy corporate alliance, governing class alliance, and they like to take shots at black people. Affirmative action was actually taking shots at black people. They're saying, hey, even when we give them a leg up, they still are poor. Ha 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 ha. Okay? And their insults, they are racist. But first and foremost, they're insulting God and I. You see what I'm saying? And right now, every day, thousands and thousands of rich people die every day. Rich people or their family members, their immediate family members. So while they're insulting me and the righteous go to heaven and lived lives worth living, them and their allies lived lives that weren't worth living. As greedy, arrogant, less than penguin scum, whether they look handsome to a dumb slut or not. And their souls and spirits are being trampled. So as you're trying to get at God and I, what is actually happening to your souls and spirits? Who is winning? Who the fuck is winning?